I'm André, and today I'm looking at some of the stranger use cases for the DJI MIC 2. Now, I've been experimenting a little bit just to see what I can actually do with it, and this video is going to be 5 and a half actually, things that you can do with the DJI MIC 2 that you probably didn't know it can do. So the first strange use case is using the DJI MIC 2 transmitter as a USB drive, and this works because when you do internal recordings on the transmitter, to pull those files out, you just connect this via USB to your computer or your phone, and then you pull the audio files out. This goes both ways, so you can also put files onto the transmitter and then take that transmitter and connect it to another computer and then pull those files off. So if you're in a pinch, need to transfer some files, maybe from an iPhone to an Android phone, and you can't use AirDrop, you can use the transmitter. Well, it's not the fastest, it's only USB 2, but in a pinch, it'll do. The second use case might not be as weird, but it's still useful, where you connect the receiver to your computer and it will show up as an audio interface. If you're doing a video conferencing call or recording into OBS, you can use this as your source of audio, and you have proper audio for your video calls or your recordings on your computer. And it makes the audio on your conference calls much better than the built-in microphone you have in your laptop or desktop machine, which probably doesn't even have a microphone. And this is what it sounds like when I'm speaking directly into. So the third use case is using the transmitter as a standalone recorder to record something like a podcast. If some of your equipment fails, microphones don't work as they should, you just take the little transmitter, put it on a table in between you, and because it's an omnidirectional microphone on the transmitter, it will catch audio from all directions, not just one direction, because you can just sit across from each other on the table, put this in the middle, maybe on a little box, and it will record the same audio level from both of you into this little thing, and you can then pull that recording and use it later on. And this is what it would sound like if we're using the DJI MIC 2 transmitter as a sort of podcast recording backup solution. In a way, it does really work. Even though the audio is not perfect, the audio is good enough to use in a pinch. Of course, you can use it together with the receiver and plug that into your phone or camera, whatever you use, to record the audio as well. If you don't have any working mics or something happened with the mics, this can come in pretty clutch. Now, the fourth use case is somewhat similar to the previous one, but it's also kind of different. I walk to this studio and home again after work, and that's a 45-minute walk each way. So that's 90 minutes each day that I listen to audiobooks or do calls, stuff like that. And then one day I figured that if I can record myself talking about video ideas, talking and doing basically brain dumping ideas for videos or project descriptions I'm doing for my proper work, having those voice recordings and then transcribing those into text and then running those through ChatGPT to clean them up, that will actually save me a lot of time, and I can then utilize the time I spent walking to work and back again into doing something more productive. Of course, you can also do this with your phone and a headset, so you don't have to have the transmitter to do this, but the transmitter is quite handy in that you can just clip it here and then talk for 45 minutes, pull out the recording, transcribe it, and you'll get all the notes. And I've been using it now for the last couple of months just to brain dump every day to work, and it's working a lot better than I thought it would. And I'm planning a full video on not just the workflow of doing that, but also a couple of use cases which is extremely time-saving. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that video. Should be coming in a couple of weeks. Now, the fifth use case is amazing. It's not something you would think about out of the box, but at the same time, it makes sense when you hear it. So what you can do is, if you have an audio source like DJ mixer, something that plays audio, first off, we need to bring out the big guns. You can connect it to the transmitter through the mini jack connection on top. Now, routing the audio into the transmitter, which will of course transmit it to the receiver, and plugging the receiver into a sound system like a boombox or a proper stereo system or a PA, you can have wireless transfer from your audio source to whatever sound system you're using to play that source. Now, I've been testing this out with some DJ equipment and it works great. The only thing you have to be really careful about is that the signal can get quite hot. So I've made it a habit of turning down the gain for both the receiver as well as the transmitter all the way down, and then slowly raising it up just to get a proper level before you connect everything to the sound system. And you don't want to overload and blast the speakers to hell. But it works surprisingly well, and the delay isn't that bad. So whatever comes out of the sound system is usually delayed anyway, especially if you're on a big PA or on a big stage or in a club. There is some delay going on anyway, so you always monitor directly from the sound source, which is your mixer. Now we just need to hook everything up So having a little delay from your audio source going through to the receiver is not a big problem. And as a backup solution, if something in between that doesn't work, you can actually use this and to get audio from your device to the PA, and it works really, really well. I was quite surprised to figure this out, and it was a channel subscriber that put me onto this idea, doing like radio stuff. And he was wondering if it was possible to take an audio signal from that and split it so that he could both monitor on a headset as well as recording through one mic, listening to whatever came through the radio, but also recording the signal directly from the radio. So here's the cool part. We connect the output of the mixer into the DJI MIC 2 transmitter. And now we're going to connect the receiver to the stereo system over there. So I did some testing, and it does actually work in the way that you can get both signals through the headset piece here and listen to both the radio and yourself speaking. Then you use one of these, plug that into the auxiliary out from the radio, as well as using the other mic on the other channel to record your own voice. That way you would have your own voice recording, whatever coming through the radio, merging into this and then monitoring both of them through this. And that's how I got sort of the idea to test this out using a DJ device to transmit audio to a sound system. And it works. It's great. We now have power to the amplifier. Let's go hook up the rest. Let's see if we can get the signal over on the receiver. And here comes the big test. Will we be able to transmit audio from this equipment over to the stereo system by using the DJI MIC 2? Let's see what happens. You ready? It works. Probably gonna get demonetized, but it works. It's instantaneous. There's no audible delay. It just works. And there you have it. It works. Wirelessly transmitting to the stereo through this. DJing with the DJI MIC 2. So that was the fifth one. Now the and a half, this is actually a bonus tip. You know there's a small magnet here. And if you take that magnet off and put it at the bottom, you have a small stand for the DJI MIC 2 transmitter. Whenever I'm doing overhead shots, I usually don't want the mic connected to the camera because I don't want the wires going all over the place. And I might be doing an overhead shot, I might be doing over a shoulder shot, moving the camera about and not having the cable go from the camera to the microphone. So the trick is to connect a shotgun mic to the transmitter and transmit that to the receiver that's connected to the camera, and that way I can have the audio quality of a shotgun mic going through this into the camera and recording everything on my phone. We made a full video about that, as well as using that feature to do a couple of other things. If you want to watch that video, I'm going to link that up here. And if you're thinking about buying either the smaller package or the full package, of the DJI Mic 2, you might want to watch this video, which I made about the pros and cons of the DJI Mic 2 set. And that's all I had for now, so hopefully I'll see you in one of those videos. Bye for now.